Should the Vikings franchise tag Sam Darnold?
I don't think so. I mean, for what?
Say it with your chest.
Is he a good player or something like that?
They said he was last year.
I'm asking you, is he a good player?
He had a good season.
Did he?
Last year, of course.
Because he choked when they needed him most. I just think if you go out here and pay this guy, like, what are you telling your teammates? 'Cause I can tell you this much: guys in the locker room with him, they're not happy and going crazy. We gotta sign Sam Darnold. Certain quarterbacks, we gotta get him. We need him. I don't know if they really need him. You got a quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, right, who showed some flashes in the preseason, and he was a first-round draft pick. And I'm saying this: if Kevin O'Connell could change Sam Darnold, the one that seen Ghost, right, the one that seen Freddy Krueger, the one that seen all these different things, if he can change him, he can't change and develop a rookie in J.J. McCarthy? Why not? See, the problem is, right? No, this is why I'm saying, James, because we got to stop just paying everybody just because they have an okay year, right? You can be terrible for all these years and then have an okay year, and this guy like T. Higgins, they can't get his money.
Yeah.
Guys like Jamar Chase had to go play an extra year to get his money. Like, he not worthy of it? Freaking Parsons, he ain't get paid yet, but we talking about, should we pay Sam Darnold? Yeah. I'll say this, I think it was a message this year when the Falcons decided to pay Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
See what you got from him, right? Gave him all this money, and then you had a rookie there was just as good, maybe better. You get what I'm saying with that? You had a rookie in the bill that you drafted. Yeah. You paid that guy $80-something million, whatever you paid him, and your rookie was good or better than him. You wasted money, dog. Take that money from Sam Darnold and give it somewhere else. Because if you let him go to the free market, I don't think he's gonna have a crazy market like that. I don't think teams is begging and pleading, please, can we get Sammy? They're not doing that. So don't make the same mistake the Falcons did. Go out there and you pay all this dude all this money, and then he comes out there on Sunday and he looks like the same Sam Darnold we really know. And now you go back to the rookie to save the day. That's exactly what the Falcons did.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think it definitely put some fear in teams when Kirk Cousins signed for $100 million guaranteed and then got hurt, and then they drafted Michael Penix, which I think is going to have a good NFL career.
Well, before the hurt,
but I'm just saying, like, he was never really the same coming off the Achilles. Remember we did the whole thing up there, dropping back, all stuff like that. So, should the Vikings tag Sam Darnold?
Why we don't give my dude no credit for coming off of Achilles?
Stay on topic.
My bad.
Should the Vikings tag Sam Darnold? No, I don't think so. The tag's 40.4. Now, show me you can do it from Sam Darnold to the rookie. I agree. Then the one game J.J. McCarthy played, he played well. Preseason, not the regular season.
Of course not.
I don't think you can just automatically think, regardless of how good of a coach you are, that we are going to replace 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns. But I absolutely agree with him not tagging it.
Wait, hold on, Shady, because I'm confused. The take confused me. If Sam Darnold was that good last year statistically, 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and in the history of the NFL, no quarterback has ever left in free agency, why do you agree with the decision?
Because Sam Darnold, I don't think you can actually put a value on just what he did last year. And quite honestly, that's what every team's doing. They're putting value on what his first 6 years of this career look like.
About time.
And that's just the truth of what these NFL teams and what I'm hearing are doing.
So it's wise to let 4,300 yards walk out the door?
Absolutely not for a certain amount of money. Exactly what I said.
But the certain amount of money is what?
$40 million.
I said, and I said in the take, I said $30 million a year would be my max on Sam Darnold, based on the new information that I've got. If he goes out and gets $35 million, he wants $35 million, no, you got to draw a line somewhere.
Forget the new information you've gotten. You played quarterback in the NFL for 14 years. So you probably played it longer than whoever gave you the information that you got. So you know the value of the position of a quarterback. So Sam Darnold, 35 touchdowns, 4,300 yards. You played football long enough to know, regardless, that's hard to do. Yeah. Regardless of what I think, what 2-5 thinks, what James thinks, what you at home thinks, that's hard to do. Because you played for a long time, and you never did it. So it's hard to do. Never done it. You at home probably watching, you never did it. So it's hard to do. So knowing how hard that is to do, even if you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and all of these people, because I don't even know if Kirk Cousins did the 4,300 plus the 35 with the touchdown interception ratio. Knowing how hard it is to do, how can you confidently and competently say, just let Sam walk out the door? $40 million, all things considered, isn't that much money.
I think you're confusing yourself a little bit in this, because the question is, should the Vikings tag Sam Darnold? I said no, they should not franchise tag. That does not mean they can't sign him back to a new deal. It just means he gets to go to the free market, shop his worth, and come back and tell the Vikings what he's worth.
But to me, if you go out to a free market, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back.
But if you're Sam Darnold, if you're Sam Darnold, you get to play for an offensive genius. And your best year of your NFL career was with Kevin O'Connell and that Vikings offense with the best receiver in football and one of the better running backs in football. I'm coming back. If I get 35 and they're like, hey, I'm paying you 28, I'm going back. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's the only place that makes sense for him. But I think it's the smart thing for the Vikings to do to not tag them, because when you tag a guy, you are negotiating against yourself. Well, I think you're worth this, but I'm not sure. Go get me your worth, agent. Come back to me, and then we can talk. And then we'll see if it's too expensive for us.
To me, though, players have too many egos. Shady, you would know better than me because you were in this position.
He doesn't deserve the ego, dog, because he hasn't shown it. He's shown it for 1 year. A guy like this, this is a game-changing, game-breaking contract for his life. He does not deserve, and he quite honestly, he has not earned the right to have an ego about his next contract. Now, if we're talking about Lamar Jackson, and we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, and we're talking about some of those guys,
say this.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you tell me, hey, go see what you're worth and let me know, that's one of the more disrespectful things.
It happens all the time.
It does. It's still one of the more disrespectful things that can happen in sports.
And if you
we want you.
I don't disagree with that.
Go see how bad they want you. Let us know what they say, and then we'll decide what we want.
Bro, it's telling them that they don't want you.
And why is that disrespectful, knowing what you put on tape during your career?
Because clearly they don't want you that bad. Obviously, sitting up here, we don't think Sam Darnold is all that. Maybe the Vikings don't see Sam Darnold as all that. But Sam Darnold stepped onto a football field 20 times last year, maybe 18 with the playoff game, and he played well. He played well.
Very well.
Correct.
Let's call that what it is.
So if you're Sam Darnold, just sitting here saying, wait a second. I just gave the Vikings, I believe, the best regular season record in franchise history, maybe in the last 20, 30 years.
No, it's the most wins they've ever had.
Most wins, great. Thank you. Wasn't wrong. So if you're Sam Darnold, you don't think you're sorry. With all due respect. He don't think he's sorry.
Yeah, and they had a good football team. Sam Darnold helped out with that. But the answer is no, they should not.
Drastic impact within that building for what they were going to pay him. Like, if they win both of those games, if they win a playoff game and they get the 1 seed.
We're not having this conversation.
We're not even having this conversation. Quite honestly, he might be making $45 million a year.
But don't we still...
And it's crazy to think that, because you did the franchise record in wins, but 2 games.
Don't we still have to have the conversation based upon what y'all are saying, which is 1 season isn't enough? So y'all are suggesting that had he won the last week's game against the Lions and had he won the playoff game against the Rams, so now 1 season is enough?
I think in the biggest you talked about moments with Dak Prescott. I think in the biggest moments, if he were to and he'd have you can't take away 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns from the guy. But in the biggest moments of the season, he looked regular. And I think that is too much to get over for the Vikings.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We've seen some average quarterbacks have 1 good year. We've seen some average players have 1 good year. That happens. We've seen Rex Grossman take the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl. Will we say that's Rex Grossman?
Yeah, but Rex didn't play well that year, James.
No, he did not.
Statistically. Blake Bortles didn't play great the year.
But all I'm saying is we've seen average quarterbacks take their teams far. Right?
Go far with their team.
That's what I'm saying.
That's different than taking.
But what I'm saying is that don't necessarily mean that you should be making all this type money. That's the problem we into right now with this quarterback situation. That quarterbacks is getting into really good situations and winning football games, and we're turning the tape on with our own 2 eyes like, you're not really like that. But his team is good and he's winning. We're going to give him all this money. That is what we're running into. And I credit the Minnesota Vikings like, nah, we ain't going to do that.
I disagree with that, Shady, because when you turned on Sam Darnold's tape, not counting the playoff game, obviously, he looked good. Sam Darnold was not being carried by the Vikings. Let's not I'm not going to act like Sam Darnold was doing what Blake Bortles did with the 2017 Jags or did what Rex Grossman did.
He threw the ball very well.
Like,